Hello, got a bright breezy November morning in the northwest of England. Thought I'd do a brief, very brief tutorial. Difficult to do the whole thing on your own, but what we've got is a 2006 Volvo V50 2-litre diesel. So that's the Peugeot engine, not the 5-cylinder D5, and we're changing the alternator. So thought it might be handy just to give you a few pointers. It's a DIY job, so if there's anybody thinking I fancy doing this myself, go ahead. It's not scary. It might look that way. You've got to take one or two things off just out of the way. You've got the cages which pop over the fuel filter, which you'll notice. You don't have to disconnect any of the fuel lines. Just lift it up out of the way, tie it back so it's not in your way, and then once you've done that, you'll see you've got a bottom cage, which is just the 8mm bolts there that need to come off, one at the back, and then you've got good access to your alternator. Trickiest bolt you'll find is that one at the bottom there, if you can see that. They're all 16s, see that there. You can get to it with your fingers, and if you've got a decent ratchet spanner you'll not have any problems, but if you are thinking of doing this yourself and you've got one of those cheaper sets of spanners, you'll find it'll probably miss out the 16, so you might want to grab yourself one. Alternatively, a shallow 16 socket you'll probably get away with. So the three main bolts, two down the side, there you'll see one on the right at the top, if you can see that, just here, the 16, and then you'll see at the bottom, just down there, you've got two options there. You can either release the 8mm Allen bolt, which sort of goes in from the side, or the 6mm from underneath. If you can get to the 6mm with a bar, go that way. And if you are taking your alternator off, remember to take off the 8mm Allen bolt threaded section of your alternator, because you'll probably need that. It'll not come with your exchange unit. Most difficult thing, if you need a 17mm spanner, really. I don't think you'd get even a shallow socket in to release the tension on your drive belt. So if you can see that there, good long 17 spanner, or just a decent one, and do the old little extension trick, putting your loop around the other end, and it'll come away. Note the routing of it. It's not particularly difficult on this one, but just try and remember it. Take a picture even if you're not confident, for rerouting it back on. But yeah, so you'll see that we'll just pop upside down back into its place, cage goes back on top. No special tools really. Like I said, 16mm spanner and socket, 17mm decent spanner, 8mm, you'll see them, they're 8mm. Same for the top cage there, and you'll one or two sort of torques. If you've got a decent torque set, I think it's a T25, just for little bits of clips and what have you as it goes back together. But don't be frightened of attempting this yourself. Be sure the alternator that comes off is the same ampage as the one that goes on. There's some ambiguity over 120 and 150 amps on these, and the thing is, if it's already had one in the past, you might not be able to see what the ampage is, and if you put the wrong one back on, you will have issues, because if it's been upgraded from a 120 to a 150, it should have had a software patch. So if you put a 120 back on, you'll have problems. If you put a 150 on, it's not had the software patch, you'll have problems. So I would recommend, if you've got a local alternator guy, use him, because he'll know straight away and can test the alternator that's come off and tell you what the ampage is, and could also do a patch if necessary, rather than going to somewhere like Euro. They really don't know what's come off your car. Obviously, it goes without saying, battery cable's off. Jack the car up. Like I said, there wasn't much to do underneath, but it's worth taking the tray off just for access. You don't want to be struggling and messing about. I'm not sure there's any other pointers, any other questions, anything you want to ask, send me a message and I'll try and help you, but don't be afraid of it. Go ahead and do it. DIY job, save yourself a couple of £100.